Now, we'll know that in America, they've made changes in Alabama. They've basically approved a near outright ban on abortion, including in cases of rape and incest. And we know that here, actually, there were lots of protests, aren't they, gone outside on clinics, abortion clinics, in fact, more than 40 in the UK, including one in Kent. The debate, therefore, very much rages. Do you think we should revisit our laws in the wake of what is happening in America? Bernie says, well, of course, a woman should be allowed to choose between having an abortion or not. She may not just be thinking of herself, but bringing a child into the world that isn't wanted for whatever reason. I wonder what you think. You can text to it's 81333. Start your message with the word Kent. Meantime, let's discuss this now with Antonia Tully from the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children and Catherine O'Brien from the British Pregnancy Advisory Service. Starting with you, Catherine, what's your reaction to what's happened in Alabama?
Oh, I think it's absolutely devastating to see what's going on in Alabama. The idea that we saw a Senate of 25 men pass an abortion ban that excludes abortion even in cases of rape and incest, even in cases where the baby stands no chance of survival. I just think it's absolutely heartbreaking, and it's a real reminder that, you know, wherever we are in the world, we need to keep up the fight and stay vigilant.
I wonder, Antonia, what you think to that it's men making this decision, which, you know, should be a woman's issue, no?
Alabama has made a fantastic move here. The men who voted this have said, we want a culture here where women are valued, they're cared for, where the rights of unborn children are cherished and valued. I mean, let's get to the heart of this. Abortion kills an unborn baby. Abortion damages women. We need to start creating a culture where women are not the only option for women in a crisis is that they have an abortion. We want to create a culture where women are cherished, where they deserve much better than abortion as a solution to their problems, and that we start valuing children from the moment of conception. So this is a great step in the right direction for us.
Catherine, yeah, you say this decision was made by men, but, you know, surely it is the child that we need to think about here, no?
Well, I mean, I think that as you alluded to earlier, that, you know, a lot of the women that we see, so the majority of women who seek an abortion in the UK are already mothers. They are very much making a decision often about the well-being of their existing children and their awareness that maybe this isn't the right time and it wouldn't be fair to have another child at this point. And I do have to stress that, you know, if we want to offer women better choices, if we want to ensure that every woman is able to have a child if that's what she wishes, then I would say there are lots of other ways other than banning abortion that you could go about doing that. You could, I would like to see these anti-abortion groups campaigning on things such as the two-child benefit cap, whereas the outrage about the increasing use of food banks. There are lots of other places where these organisations could direct their time and resources to improve women's ability to have children if they wish, without restricting the ability of women for whom the time is not right, for whom they cannot continue that pregnancy, without restricting their right to end it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people would say, you know, those protests are absolutely happening now. You know, that's a sort of separate issue. Coming back to you then, Antonia, what about this issue that each and every woman has their own choice, they have their own mind and they have their own conscience? So it's down to the individual, isn't it?
We live in an abortion culture. 1 in 7 women in this country experience coercion into an abortion. We don't have a culture which says we're here to help. We're here to care for you. You're referring to protests. They're not protests. These are women who find a pro-lifer outside an abortion facility who's offering them a lifeline. So many women find themselves having an abortion. They don't want the abortion. They regret the decision to abort. And we've only got to look at the academic studies to see the devastating impact that abortion has on women. 30%, a conservative estimate is that 30% of women who have an abortion will experience mental health problems.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to say, I would really like to stress that the guidance from the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists in this country and the NHS is that there's no link between abortion and depression. And I think it's really unfair, given that 1 in 3 women in this country will have an abortion, to spread such misinformation and downright lies.
Well, anybody listening to this programme, if you want a copy of the academic studies that show this, please contact me. And any woman listening to this who's thinking about having an abortion today, you don't need to have an abortion. There are people who will help you. There are people who will care for you. You deserve better than abortion, and that's my message.
OK, turning back to you, Catherine, and picking up on the point that Antonia made about women being coerced into abortion because we have an abortion culture. What do you make of that?
I think that what I think is quite interesting is that there is growing research around women being coerced, including to continue pregnancies. But when women come to our clinics, they are all seen one-to-one on their own by trained counsellors to ensure that there's no coercion. And where that does take place, we are able to refer them directly into services. And I think that's why it's really important that women feel able to come to our clinics and talk about these things, because actually we know that women who are in violent and abusive relationships sometimes find accessing clinics very, very difficult, in part due to issues like protests outside, which risk their confidentiality. So actually women who are in coercive relationships there is evidence that they are turning to online abortion medication rather than accessing clinics.
Actually, on that point, I wanted to ask you, Antonia, we're talking about the legality of abortion, and it's often raised, isn't it, that actually you can make it illegal, but that just drives it underground or onto the internet, as Catherine just mentioned, and actually that's much more dangerous for women.
Well, of course, the big campaign at the moment, spearheaded by the British Pregnancy Advisory Service, is precisely to take away all legal protection by decriminalising abortion, by precisely driving abortion onto the internet. That's what their campaign to decriminalise abortion is all about, which is why we're resisting it. We do need legal sanctions around abortion so that unborn babies are protected and so that women are protected too. So I think it's a bit disingenuous to say that, banning abortion, and it's only after 6 weeks in Alabama, is going to drive it underground. I think the opposite is going to happen. I repeat what I said. It's going to create a culture where their issues are really addressed, and it's not a case of abort and abandon, which is what happens now, because we run an organisation that counsels women after they've had an abortion, and this is what we're hearing time and time again. Women feel they were on an abortion conveyor belt, and they come out at the other end, and there's no support for them, there's no love for them, there's no care for them. As I say, it's just abort and abandon, and I hope that we'll see in Alabama that a culture developing where women are not abandoned.
And just a final point from you, Catherine, given that abortion is legal in this country at the moment, do you think we've got the time limit, 24 weeks? Is it about right?
Absolutely. I think that there is no evidence of need to reduce that. And the women who have abortions at those late gestations are often some of the most desperate and vulnerable women, and women who've discovered a fetal anomaly with a very much wanted pregnancy. And although I would like to stress that actually, while women are able to access abortion in England, Wales, and Scotland, of course in Northern Ireland we in effect have our own Alabama, where abortion is banned in all but the most extreme of circumstances. So I think that the debate in the UK is not moving towards restricting abortion, but actually how can we improve access to abortion for the women of Northern Ireland.
Thank you both for talking to us today. We appreciate that. That's Catherine O'Brien there from the British Pregnancy Advisory Service, Antonia Tully from the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children, very much coming from, as you've heard, opposite sides of the debate there.